another Go for Lunch. So thank you all for joining us today. Glad to have you here. So we have Kurt and Stanley, and now Judy is signing in. Hi, Judy. So glad to see your smiling. Let's see, how can I say this? Some of you have smiling faces. Good to see you all here today. So let's get started, shall we? Yes, let's do that. So today we're talking about You've Been Framed for Go for Lunch number 68. So if you're new here, please type new in the comments. My name is Roger Harmon with GoFor Technology, where we make your technology work for you. So before we start our program, just a couple little notes. One of the things about doing Go for Lunch is a way for me to keep in touch with you between our live visits. As things pop up, then I can kind of put out the word and help you with things that I'm seeing in the field that need to be taken care of. And one of those things is iPhoto conversions. So iPhoto was discontinued in 2015 and replaced by Photos. And if you have an older Mac, you may still be running iPhoto instead of Photos. So that's something that should be corrected. So you should have converted your iPhoto library to a Photos library. So if you haven't done that yet, that's something that you need to do, because when you get your next Mac, an M1 Mac, that we seem to have new ones coming here maybe next month, then that's an important thing to have done beforehand. So if you have any questions about converting your iPhoto library to your Photos library, please let me know. Another thing that I'm seeing out in the field when I visit is that people are not aware that Zoom is updating their application, their program, very often. So I'm not sure if this is hooked up. Let's see. No, it's not hooked up. Okay. So I've been switching computers around here a lot. So my other computer that has Zoom on it. Well, let's see. We could go to camera 2, and then you could kind of see. So here we have Zoom over here on camera 2, on monitor 2. So to update your Zoom, you go to the upper left-hand corner of Zoom, and then you slide down to check for updates. And then if you're up to date, you get a message that says you are up to date, but likely the version right now is 5.7.6, and I just updated it a day or so ago. So that is another little note to keep your Zoom updated, because it may be one of these days that you'll need an updated version of Zoom to get into Zoom meetings. Also, you should be using the Zoom program and not using Zoom on a browser. It just runs better if you have the program native on your computer. Again, if you have any problem finding that, they don't make it real easy to find how to download the Zoom app on the zoom.us website. So if you need help with that, I'm your man. Okay. So I had a dilemma this week of what the event that would be our theme, the edition of the Go for Lunch. Would it be National Waffle Day, or would it be National Peach Pie Day? So let me know what we should use. I know I love them both, so we'll have to figure that out. So what edition of Go for Lunch is it today? So now back to You've Been Framed. So we've got the holiday season coming up. We also have a situation where you haven't maybe seen your family as much as you did 2 years ago. And a nice framed photograph would be a nice way to let them know what you and your family look like now. And of course, it's a great gift that is not that expensive and is certainly very, very personal. So let's see what we need to do to plan ahead to be purposeful, intentional in preparing a photograph for something that we want to enlarge and have printed and framed. So you want to plan ahead so that you can have the best quality, because when you blow a picture up, if you don't have the quality, you can't make it better. You can reduce a picture and get better quality, but you can't increase the size of a picture and retain quality. You lose quality. So you need to change some settings in your iPhone, or make sure those settings are what they should be. So let's just go to our iPhone here, and let's go to the camera. So you may be aware that you can get to the camera. So we'll go away here by going to the upper right hand corner of your iPhone and swiping down if you have a newer iPhone, or if you have an iPhone with a home button, you swipe up from the very bottom and the camera icon appears. You see it there on the bottom right, and that's a quick way to get to the camera. So there we are on the camera live. So we want to go to our camera settings. Unfortunately, the camera settings are not in the camera app. So to do that, we're going to swipe up, we're going to click on settings, and then we're going to scroll down, and we're going to find the camera app, which seems to be hard to find. I just found it a minute ago and I still can't seem to find it. Okay, I know you're in here. There it is. So it's in that third section after the one that's headed by music. We click on the camera, and then at the very top here we have formats. So there's two different formats you can have. So Apple uses a high efficiency format, but nobody else does to speak of. So the high efficiency format allows you to have photos that take up less room on your camera, on your phone, so you have more room for more pictures, but it is not as compatible as JPEG, which is what you get when you click on most compatible. So that's something that you should be aware of. Okay. So here's a little don't. So we're going to have, we had some to-dos, now we're going to have some don'ts. Don't use a photo that's been emailed to you, because those photos are not very high quality. When you email a photo, the quality is compressed. So you don't want to use an emailed photo. Let's just pause here for a moment. And let's see. Gretchen is saying that you can't see my screen. So can you see the screen now? So was it the iPhone screen you couldn't see? And Helen is here. And I'm not sure what Gert is asking me here. For some reason, when I punch some of the comments, the wrong comment comes up. Okay. I think we answered that question. Hopefully you can see the screen now. Let me know. And we have a vote here. Carolyn is with us. Hi. And Judy wants speech by. So great. Okay. So back to You've Been Framed. Don't use photos that you get off of a social network like Facebook. Again, those have been scrunched down so they can store more photos. And again, don't use photos that people have sent you in a text message. Same situation. They are low quality. And then don't take a screenshot of a photo off of a website or something. Again, the quality just is not there. So, one way to get a high quality photo is to shoot a raw photo. Now, this is not available natively on your iPhone unless you have a fairly new iPhone. But we'll talk about a workaround for that. And that workaround is an app that you download from the App Store called Camera Plus. Now, there used to be a free version, which I have, but now let's go to the App Store. So hopefully you can see my iPhone. If you can't, please let me know. And we have a vote for waffles. Kurt wants anything peach. Another peach. Looks like, oh, peach waffles. No, that's a good idea, Doriana. I didn't think about that. Okay, you couldn't see the Zoom screen. Okay, that's fine, Gretchen. I understand because it wasn't really on. I was just pointing to it on my other monitor, so that's why you couldn't see it. Okay, so here we are on the iPhone. And we go to my folder, which has the App Store, and we go to my apps, and we search for Camera Plus. I'm going to cheat and just use Siri. Camera Plus. Is that really cheating? I don't think so. Okay, so now you can see there's one called Camera Plus 2. So what they have done is they've upgraded the Camera Plus app and called it Camera Plus 2. So if we go down here, we have another one called Camera Plus Free with something with color effect filters. So that's one option. And then we have another one which is ProCam, which does the same thing. And then here's Camera Plus 2. Look at that. They've got peaches. I didn't plan this. And apple. Oh, I think, yeah, that's a peach. And then there's an apple. It's there. And then they have Camera Plus Legacy, which is the one that I have. So you use this one. As you can see, I've already downloaded it because it says open here instead of get or a price. So here we are in the Camera 2 app. So it has a lot more features than the standard app, and you can hit this little starburst here and import images that you have in your iPhone camera roll. Okay, and then we hit the little hamburger menu in the lower right hand corner, and you got some other features here. You can see that you have to migrate your you see here now I put it at the top, you have to migrate your photos if you had Camera 2 Plus to Camera, from Camera Plus to Camera Plus 2. Okay, and then you have a lot of other features here which we're not going to get into right now. but this is just getting into ways that you can take a picture and have high quality. So what you would do when you have a setting, whether it's a birthday party, graduation, a wedding, a vacation, and you think, boy, that's a great scene out there, I'm going to capture that and I'm going to frame it. So then you would bring up your camera plus or whatever app and set it up to take a picture in the highest quality. So this is going to be kind of an overview of how to do this, and I want you to tell me how deep we want to go into these different topics that we're talking about today. So we will dive in there more in the future. Okay. So the whole idea is to get a high resolution image so that when you have it blown up to like an 8 by 10, there will be good detail. And you can use existing images. You can check them in Camera Plus, for example, and see what the quality is so you know whether it's suitable for framing. So we'll look into that. So here's how you go into the Camera Plus app to shoot RAW. So RAW basically means it is capturing all the detail, all of the pixels in the image that the iPhone camera can get. So if we go back here, so let's do that real quick. So here's the 3-line icon in the lower right. You see that in the lower right. We hit that. And then we choose quality and format. So here it is down in the center in the lower section. And that's where we can choose the format. And as you can see down here at the very bottom, there's a switch that you would turn on and grab a raw photo. Now, the one thing about RAW is that it may have to be processed in a photo editor because it's not going to take advantage of the computational photography that happens when you choose other than a RAW. So that's something that you may or may not want to mess with. So that's how you do that. So we just went through those steps. So now let's talk about printing those images. So let's pretend that we're going to print from our image that we captured on our iPhone and we want it to be an 8 by 10. So we have to figure out what the aspect ratio is. So when you divide 8 into 10, you get 1.25. which is the aspect ratio of an 8 by 10 print that you would get if you went to your local photo lab at your local drugstore or big box store. So now you can go to another free app called Snapseed and make that picture into that aspect ratio so that you are controlling how it looks. So you don't want this to be done by somebody at the photo lab in the drugstore or in the Target or the Walmart or the Costco. You want to show them by having this prepared ahead of time when you transfer this image to a flash drive and take it in to be printed. You want it to be what we call camera ready. So it's ready to be printed. They don't have to do anything, just print it. and it'll be exactly the way you want it. So let's go back to our phone and go back to our home screen. We're going to put our finger in the center of the screen and swipe down to search. And we're going to type in SN. And there's Snapseed right there, the little green leaf. Okay, so here's a picture that I actually took with my iPhone. And I brought this in from my camera roll. So then I'm going to click on Tools. There at the bottom center, there's Tools. And then I'm going to, at the top right, I'm going to click on Crop. And then along the bottom, this shows me the different crops. So we figured out that a 1.25 aspect ratio converts to 5/4. So as I scroll over here, so look at the image, watch the image. Now I'm going to click on 5/4. So now you see on the right and the left edge, there's a gray area. So that's what was cropped out because the image was not suitable for 8x10 printing. But we could move it to one side or the other. So if we wanted to get more of the left side in, we would just drag it to the left. If we wanted more of the right side in, we would drag it to the right. So that is an 8x10 aspect ratio ready for printing at the photo lab. And there's that same picture. So, what questions do we have? And while we wait for questions, let me ask you a question. So based on what we've kind of done through our overview today, how would you like to deeper dive into these segments? What aspects of this would you like to know more about? So please let me know either in the comments right now, or if you're watching this later, put it in the comments on YouTube. So it's a vast topic, and there's a lot going on here. And I'm starting this early. We're starting in August and way in advance of the holiday season so that you can plan ahead and get some really nice images that you can give as gifts, which people appreciate, I think. So we used to just hang pictures on the wall. Then we started just sending them around in email and posting them on Facebook. And they look fine on a computer screen. But again, we can't use those images to get a good print because we lose the detail. So, anybody have any ideas about what they would like to know more about based on today? Or any other questions that may have popped into your head? So Kurt says that he's used them and they are great, and he has okay, so could you clarify? I think what you're saying, Kurt, is that you have used GNU. Is that what you're saying? So please clarify that. And what choice of frames are available? So it's going to be usually a two-step process. You're going to go to, let's say, Walgreens and get a print made, and then you're going to go to someplace like Michael's. To get the frame, or order the frame. So you would have to probably go two places to complete the whole project. Or you may have some frames laying around, like I do, that you can repurpose. And Stanley says, what app would you use to put a frame around your photo? So when I'm saying frame, Stanley, I mean a physical frame, a picture frame that you would put the print in from the photo lab, and would have a piece of glass over it. As far as putting a digital frame around your picture, there's several apps that will do that out there, and you can do basic frames in photos, and oh, I see. Okay, so yeah, but the frame I'm talking about here is a physical frame. And Carolyn, the best place to get photos printed. Okay, so one little secret is to find the newest drugstore that you can, because they have the newest photo lab of anybody in town. So if there's a drugstore that has just been built or just moved, chances are they've got the latest photo processing equipment, and they will have the highest quality. Costco is always a good place. They seem to have maintained good quality throughout the years, so that's a place to try. So that's kind of the criteria. But most any, be particular. Make sure you inspect their work before you leave the store, and if you don't like it, then tell them right there on the spot, and usually they will fix it. Okay, Kurt, I get it. New is a joke. So Kurt says, oh, okay, so good. And that brings up a good point, Kurt, that Costco doesn't do it in-house anymore. They do it online, and most all these other places do it online. And of course, not just the drugstores and the big box stores, but there are photo labs that work online that may have higher quality, higher standards than the stores. And it may be that these labs are where those stores are sending their prints anyway. So there's a lot of choices out there, and we can dig into that if you like. So that might be a good topic as to where to send it. So I think I'll consider that a good topic, and we will talk about that in the near future and give you kind of a procedure of how to do that. And Susan wants better quality. Okay. All right, so we'll try to clarify that, Susan, so that we can make that more apparent. So if you haven't already done it, please subscribe and click the little bell next to the subscribe button, which is right down here on YouTube. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers, so that YouTube will give us a custom URL that will make it easier for you to find us when you want to check back to our vast library of 68 different videos on different topics that you can search for in our YouTube channel and find just what you're looking for to review something or to check out something that you may have not been able to see live. So thank you very much for attending today. I hope we got your interest piqued as far as getting out there, shooting some good pictures on your iPhone. And of course, when you shoot those pictures, we are shooting them in the landscape mode with our lens on the upper left-hand corner. Okay, I don't want to see any pictures like this. Landscape, that'll give you the highest quality and the most data for your high quality prints. So, if you haven't already, please share the GoFor Gazette, which comes out every Monday morning at 7 o'clock, with a friend that uses a Mac so we can help more people. So, have a good rest of your week.